You have to have emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. Those are two big things when it comes to a relationship. He's, by the way, is Dr.
You're Dr. Phil.
Dr. Rigorous.
Dr. Rigorous. He answers all love relations.
At least we agree to something.
However, it's been a situation now where it's not possible to be financially stable.
Men have a lot of things that go through their head. Too much things a day.
It depends what the head you're referring to.
You do get someone that ticks all the right boxes, but they just...
Don't actually. Really believe you'll get a guy that ticks all the boxes?
Well, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
What happened then? Why single?
It's by choice, not my choice.
We didn't come here to play Sherlock Holmes solving mysteries.
Appreciate the little things I do, and acknowledge it.
So acknowledgement and appreciation.
Acknowledgement and appreciation. Men, one thing you need to know about men. Men have a lot of...
Listen to your
friends. In most cases, your friends want your partner.
Nah. I'd rather have someone that plays victim than an emotional manipulator. Or right person, wrong time,
Happens.
All those things. Get in the video.
I'll edit it out.
You can edit that out.
Yeah, and then put my voice in. I was going to say Ella again. Ale. Yes, Ale. Okay, so red flags. What's your definition of red flags?
There are many, hey?
Give us examples.
There are many. Guys, uncomfortable manipulation. If you're an emotional manipulator, that's a big red flag for me, Yeah, uncomfortable red flags, ununderstanding, someone that's lazy, someone that's not willing to meet you halfway. These are all things, like, if you're not even willing to compromise a little bit,
yes,
like, these are red flags. And listen to your friends when they tell you.
Really, though? Well, I think Boy Rigorous has something to say about that.
I have a lot to say.
What do you have to say regarding what she said, especially the one about the friends? Listen to your friends.
In most cases, your friends want your partner.
Look how she's like completely disagreeing with that.
It's normally the guy that wants your friends.
Nah. Trust me. I've been in a situation where it's that case.
Okay, every situation needs its own cut piece, Yeah. But normally it's the men that are...
So can you share context there, Boy Rigorous?
For red flags?
Yeah.
I was pretty much going to say everything she said. I mean, at least we agreed to something.
Yeah.
I was pretty much going to say everything she said. Being too comfortable with where you at is a red flag. I mean, you should always try to persevere and try to be better in everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, if the red flags that I'm seeing someone like as a female, I mean, again, lazy, unambitious, you know what I mean?
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic, I wouldn't say that, because I mean, there's some certain things you would state and you feel like this is the right thing, so you being unapologetic.
Every single time?
Not every single time. I mean, we can draw a line in some certain things, but in my case, not being ambitious, not knowing where you want to go, like not knowing where you're at, not knowing what you want to do in your life, whatever, like that's a red flag for me. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if we're in a relationship, we need to complement each other in everything, So I will tell you about what I want to be, you tell me what you want to be, and then we can work together on that, and we can both make each other grow. I'm not saying be in a relationship for someone to make you grow, because you can find that in yourself. You know what I mean? That's called personal growth. But what I'm saying is, in a relationship, each one is there to hold each other up when someone is down. Yep. In that case, you feel me? So if my biggest red flag is having a part, besides everything else, being with someone who's not ambitious or don't want to be anywhere, don't see themselves anywhere. They just want to be there and just do the bare minimum. That's all.
How would you feel about your girlfriend coming to you and saying, I want to be a housewife?
You want to be a housewife?
Do you think I could pull it off with a few...
A housewife, like, let's say with your because you can be a housewife with a personal business and you're just at home being a housewife, or you just want to be a housewife.
Your girlfriend came to you and said, babe, I want to be a housewife.
For me, it wouldn't fly.
It wouldn't fly?
Nah, not really.
And for you?
Because it goes back to what I said earlier on. If I'm not there, you know what I mean? That's just telling me you're probably going to find another man and tell him, I want to be your housewife. And I have extra 2 kids I have from my previous relationship. You know what I mean? You get my point?
Yeah.
So for me, like what I'm saying is, if I'm not there, you are not. You will just go to another man again and tell him the same thing. I'll be a housewife. I want to be a housewife. And let's say you have my kids, and then you come with 2 extra kids in that case. So what I'm trying to say is.
Okay. No, of course.
I was like,
it's,
no,
it-
don't
it's
fly.
your.
I don't know if you guys got what I said. No, you guys
your-
are lost. What
No,
I'm
no, no. I
saying.
got you completely. I'm listening.
she-
She's the one. She has
I'm a
something
bit
to say.
touched, you know.
Yeah, she's a bit touched.
So I'm confused.
So
right?
I'll answer the
Okay.
question you asked then.
Okay.
So
I think you got it, but I don't think she got
yeah.
it.
So for me personally, in that regard, is like so I'll touch on what you said, which is that one is if someone wants to be a housewife, let's say now it's like the wife decides, I want to be a housewife, right? Where are we financially? Is there something that can work out, right? If it can, why not? You're happy at the end of the day, both people are happy, screw it, who cares, right? However, if we're in a situation now where it's not possible to be financially stable, if that's the decision we take, then that wouldn't make sense.
Yes, that's the answer I like.
So what were you going to say on top of that?
No, him I just don't understand. Why is she coming to ask you to be a housewife to leave you for another man?
No, what I'm saying is,
Okay.
when you come to me and you tell me you want to be a housewife, it doesn't fly, because if I am not there, let's say hypothetically speaking, something happens to me, you know what I mean? And you can easily just go to someone else.
So he's saying you're repeating the cycle,
The
basically.
cycle.
From what? Where's the cycle starting?
So, okay, because I see you probably have blocked him completely while he's speaking.
Completely, because I'm coming
Yeah.
to my husband, happy, saying, "Baby, I want to stay home and look after our kids." Where's the other man coming?
Okay, so let me repeat. So what
It goes back to what I
can
said
I
at the
try
beginning.
to elaborate
Just
your
elaborate
thinking?
first.
So what he's saying, you can correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, which is, let's say you now go to him, right? And you already have your own kids, for example, right? Hypothetically speaking, right?
Why are you
And
looking at me like that?
and then something happens in the relationship. He passes away, or when you're one of those things. Yeah, it happens in life, eh?
But don't go.
So that happens, right? Then because you are not in the position to look after yourself and your own family financially, you will then go to someone else and do that same thing again.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
what I'm
now
saying.
he
So
has
that's the
problem.
only reason you wouldn't
So,
say it.
Yeah.
That would be where there's a family involved.
Yeah.
But what if there's not a family involved? You
Then you
then believe
should-
that the woman will then go ahead and do something similar again. Then to stand then, if that's
If
correct.
it's not a family.
So she has no kids.
I don't think a woman should be a housewife if you don't have children to raise. What are you doing at home?
Yeah.
Wasting your time.
Lazy. Let's
Go
go
get a
back.
job.
Let's go back to the lazy.
Go get a
thing.
job.
And I think I'd just like to add one more thing on that, is that in the times we are living in nowadays, right? It's not like back in the days where if you get into a relationship, one person will be able to cater the whole thing unless you are financially well.
Yeah.
And also the times have changed in that women are not as, how can I say, more pressed of doing certain things, of getting jobs, of being hired or working, right? That has changed.
Okay.
Right? There's a lot more jobs that women are involved in, more education and stuff like that, right? Stats out there can pull it up. But in terms of that, everyone is now hustling. Everyone, put it that way, in quotes,
So,
is hustling, right? So the chances of now saying a man will be the only one that has money
Providing,
or
yeah.
providing is becoming not so as much, right? And now that's also leading into the problem of the question we had, which is, can men deal with that type of change?
Yeah.
Right? And this will go back once again to how you were raised, traditions, religion, culture, all those things will take a play.
Everything.
All right? But I digress. Before I get too deep into my philosophical talk that excites me. Anyway, so Ella. You were talking about advice. Actually, no, before that, there was a thing I wanted to say. So you answered the last time, so I'll start with you, Boy Rigorous.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what then is the difference between red flags and compromises and stuff that, you can just like brush off?
Difference between red flags and compromise.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go first.
So when I was younger, my mom told me one thing, and she looked at me and she was like, "Baby, if it bothers you now, how much is it gonna bother you in 10 years' time?
Okay.
How much is it gonna bother you in 25 years' time? Because when you're down the line, as long as your father and I are, every single time he scratches his hand with a certain way, you just want to slap him. You know, so you have to remember that.
Yeah.
And, you know, she really put things in perspective for me. If it's irritating me now, bro,
It's always good.
what is it going to do in 2-3 years, you know? And you're going to be so irritated by then, like, you know?
Yeah.
So you really have to decide based on how much it irritates
That
you.
is a nice way to put it.
And if someone's willing to change it.
Yeah.
So...
I mean,
Yeah,
that,
but that's a difficult-
I was about to get to that.
Because
Asking
that's the-
someone to change.
That's the character.
Are you going to hit me with if they love you, they'll change?
No. But if it's something small that they're willing to change, like, you know, someone's picking their nose, you know? Come on, babe, you're 28 now. Let's...
Why does this always feel like so, like it feels so personal?
No,
These
this
are
one isn't
experiences.
personal, this one isn't personal.
Okay, okay.
But it's just like-
It was sucking his thumb. The common one.
So, you know, if he's doing that and he like acknowledges that, you know, this is a bit strange for society, let's change it, it's cool.
Yeah.
But if he just continues and he does it like broad daylight and you're very embarrassed by it, like it's clearly something that bothers you more than it
Should.
you know? And it's not going to change because, you know, at 28 there's not much you change, you know?
So you're saying by 28, it's like someone's habits.
Well, the statistics actually shows...
I love that when statistics gets pulled up.
I have to, guys. Psychology statistics, you need to have them. After 25, it's more of like a core trait than it is like a habit.
Okay.
So if someone has been doing this for 25 years, it's a core trait, bro. Like, you know,
Okay.
you can't change
And those
it.
are obviously very hard to change.
And those are very hard to change.
Poirigaris?
Between red flags and compromise.
Or it's just things that are just like annoying, but you can live without.
That I can live without
Love with, in this case, sorry.
in a relationship.
Like what do you define red flag? Like you said, a big one would be ambitions, right?
Yeah.
That'd be like a big
Lack
Yeah.
of ambition.
lack of ambition, yes.
I mean, I don't expect you to have the best inventory or be the best person, have the craziest idea, but just have a bit of ambition. You know?
Yeah.
But other things I can live with, like, you know, we can always try and change it. I mean, I wouldn't want to change you because of for my benefit, you know. So things like habits, like she said, those are things you can maybe work out here and there and
Have a few fights.
yeah, have a few fights here and there, you know. But things like, if you're talking about bigger scale, things like ambition, not wanting to do anything, or you just want to be comfortable where you are and, you know, not showing the effort of change, whatever. Those are things you can't change, because those are big scale type of things, you know, and it takes a lot. And if it takes a lot of you to try and convince that person, then I mean, you taking time of yourself and your personal growth. Again, in a relationship, it's always about personal. If I have my own personal growth and she had her own personal growth, and she identifies her personal growth and I've already identified my personal growth, and we both understand it, when we're together, it's going to last forever.
I always say 1 + 1 is 3.
Exactly, because we both understand ourselves and we've fully fulfilled our personal growth. You know what I mean? So things like habits and those things you can always compromise.
Yeah.
But
Obviously.
bigger
And
scale
this-
things.
So what if the habit is a hygiene habit?
Oof.
You don't like how the person doesn't brush their teeth,
Yeah.
or they shower 500 times a day, or 2
Okay.
showers each.
I mean, I would say more hygiene than less hygiene.
Hygiene is-
Like-
okay, hygiene.
Yeah, basically,
so
like you
what
say.
would your problem be? Like,
I mean, at the beginning, like, obviously I'll address it I will address you like, listen, this is a problem.
Take a shower.
Yeah, like
Okay.
not bluntly, but listen.
Baby,
come
let's shower together. Baby, let's go shower together.
Look at you, stop bringing your resume. That's like you coming here to just
Actually,
looking for love. You came on this show to look for love. That's what it sounds like to me at
It's
this
just
point.
like Love is Blind.
And that's
You know,
like
like
you came
blindfold
here,
me
you
and
know?
bring
That's not a
candidates
bad
down.
idea. It's like make the blind dating show, you know, to get everyone blind up and just have conversations. But
yeah, like that's something you can always like, you know, try to, I wouldn't say change, but like advice, you know. But if it doesn't work out, then it come to a certain period where you be like, actually, you know what, if you don't change this certain trait, then maybe like, you
No
know,
bueno.
yeah. But it wouldn't be a thing of first hand, like, nah, I don't want you because of your personal hygiene or hygiene problem. You know what I mean?
You only brush your teeth once a day.
So that's that, bro.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know,
What do you
it's
think?
I'll get to which is the question? There's so many questions.
The hygiene.
No, not the hygiene. Actually, I was want to ask you
The
that.
red flags.
Yeah, the red flags and
Compromises. Okay. So when it comes to my opinion between the red flags are major stuff, you know, stuff that, like she mentioned, you know, it's not going to sit well with you regardless. All right. So if something now, if we have just give some hypothetical examples here, all right. If this person has a tendency now, for example, of maybe flirting with other men or flirting with other women, right?
Okay.
And you've probably maybe discussed this or whatever, and they still continue doing that. And they're like, no, it's fine. I'm not doing anything, right? For example, I'm not doing anything. Clearly, that's a red flag.
Because
right?
of lies?
They're not the example. It's not the lie that, like they're saying. Like I said, it's people are flirting. They're not doing anything. Like they say they're not, and you see it, but still it's not sitting well with your spirit.
Okay.
Right? And like you said, it doesn't sit well. You don't even see it sitting with you well 10 years from now or whenever in the future. It's never going to work. Then that's clearly a red flag on your side, right?
Okay. So that's something
that's major stuff. It's like major stuff where you know this, for example, is bad. Take toxic traits. I should have gone to that one, right? Emotional manipulation is another big one.
Yeah, emotional manipulation. That's my anger trigger. Like,
you know, or someone always playing victim or playing, you know, the other way and stuff like that.
Victim playing.
But yeah, let me finish. Right? Or something along that way. Because the thing, there is this triangle, I forgot the name of it, which always says you can be one of these characters in any given situation. Right? 1, you can be the observer. 2, you can be the victim. And 3, you can be the person doing the assault or whatever. Forgot which one that.
the assassin.
The
instigator.
The instigator. Yes, you can be the instigator. You always play a role in one of those. But you see, the beauty of it is knowing that and pulling you away from it. And knowing what situation is going on here. You know? So you know where to stand. So that'll be it. Compromises is things we can make. I don't like going out. You like going out. Right? Now we've got an introvert and extrovert relationship going on. All right? Okay. We can come to a balance. Like, you know, we can chat in the relationship, because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what really matters? Is you people being together? Is your energy together? You spiritually together? Because once you start doing that, it's a lot more, it will keep you a lot more in tune, right? And then your compromise will be, cool, I understand that you like going out, right? And you know I don't like going out. But can we now make a compromise where we say, maybe once a week you go out, or twice a week, whatever. Now this way comes to the adult conversation. This is the big boys and girls conversation that you need.
Adults.
Adults, yes, you know. So these you speak about, that's compromises in my case. It's not red flags. So yeah, what are you saying? What you don't like? What are you mentioning?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to.
Now saying you're talking about the playing victim.
I don't like playing victim.
You don't like... No. I'd rather have someone that plays victim than an emotional manipulator. Like, I could literally grab an emotional manipulator by the throat.
Wouldn't you think playing victim is part of emotional manipulation as well?
You know, playing victim, I think it's just like people that are insecure more than anything else. Emotional manipulator. Oh, look at my watch. It's because of this. I didn't, whatever, do this. Like, grow up. Please. You know, it's a big difference.
Yeah. I feel like you've got some stories that you'd like to share.
Yo, no.
Let's go. I mean, this is after the show now. This is where you get to.
This is the deluxe.
This is where you,
The
that's where you get to
series.
put your CV up. Remember?
On Gumtree, guys, find me there.
All right.
You know, emotional manipulation, it hits the heart. I think that's the problem. You know, you're taking personal situations and diversing them to make them about yourself. And that's where the problem with it comes in. And it belittles someone's character, you know? It's going to make you feel less of a man because I've been saying this shit to get it my way. It's like, it's not fun. It's not nice, you know? So yeah, don't like that. That's the one I don't like.
What's your take on personal manipulation?
Goes back to what she's saying, pretty much. She covered everything in a nutshell.
What are your green flags?
What
Like,
are
we
my
always
green-
speak about red flags. We always
Yeah.
consider about red flags. Your green flags in a relationship.
My green flags.
Yeah.
In a
Now
relationship.
let Poiriga, let's go first since you asked him the question.
Are you talking about first base?
Anything. When
or
you're
like
in a
So
relationship,
all the good stuff that they like
When
to you
you
in the
meet
first few
those
weeks.
sweet ones. The sweet ones.
I mean, just. I actually have a lot, eh? Yeah. What is the green flags? Just the cool things as, I made you this, you know, I made you breakfast.
That's a cool
You know, do you want some lunch? You know what I mean? Those
Feeding
are-
you.
You like being smothered?
Not necessarily smothered, but appreciated.
Look at that
You
face.
feel me?
Okay.
More appreciated
Yeah.
than
What did you do to deserve to feel appreciated?
a lot.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, appreciation. I feel like that's my biggest green flag. I don't expect you to be like, I don't expect you to want to show me or give me the world, but just appreciate me. You know what I mean? Appreciate the little things I do, you know, and acknowledge it.
So acknowledgement and appreciation.
Acknowledgement and appreciation. You know,
Okay. That I like too.
yeah, acknowledgement. I know today you were having a hard day. You know, I mean, it's gonna be better. Work might not have gone your way today. Business might not have gone your way, but try harder next time. You know, those type of things. You know what I mean? That takes a lot.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, you. Now, of course. I mean,
Because men, one thing you need to know about men. Men
They're
have
trash.
a lot of a lot of things that go through their head. Too much things a day.
it
Every
depends what the head you're referring to.
You see, this is why they're trash.
It's after the show where the
After the
jokes
show.
are allowed to fly.
So men have a lot of things that go through their head every
Yeah.
single day, which they don't actually discuss with their partners because they feel like, I don't need to give you my problems. You know what I mean?
But
But
the
that
slightest-
also goes back to how you were raised then, right?
yeah. But like the slightest thing is like, you know, I know, honey, I had a hard day today. You know what I mean? I know things like that. Those for me doesn't. You know what I mean? Better than anything. You know, just acknowledge it and also appreciate.
And if those things don't happen, what you can also now to be another thing I'm asking you, right?
I mean, I wouldn't
Would
change
those
it.
then be considered
I
things
wouldn't.
that you can live without, or that?
I mean,
annoy you?
I wouldn't change her character if she doesn't have that. But I mean, it's just something that I would want. But I wouldn't want to change her because she's not that type of person. Because she can provide me some other sort of green lights in some other sort of way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which she's actually strong at.
Now, of course, like I say, to be impossible for someone to tick all the green boxes, and expecting such will be unrealistic.
yo, guys, you do get someone that ticks all the right boxes, but they just
You don't actually. You don't get someone to
I'm worried about the woman that crossed your path.
No, I'm being,
I am
I'm being
so
se-
worried about
like,
your woman.
Do you really believe you'll get a guy that ticks all the boxes?
Well, I have.
You have.
Yeah.
What happened then? Why single?
I'm still seeing them.
But you see,
But I'm not in a relationship.
So why don't you be in a relationship then?
Because relationships are a lot and I can't handle it personally right now.
But
like, I have personal growth to do. Like, it's not fair.
So is that the case because you have personal growth or because you don't want to be in a relationship?
Listen,
With
it's
them?
not my choice.
Okay.
Let's just say this. It's by choice, not my choice.
No, it's by choice. It's your
It's by choice, not my choice, but by choice.
by choice.
Like, yeah, we didn't come here to play Sherlock Holmes solving mysteries. Now you're just confusing
No, but
everyone.
she said.
No, I know. I'm listening.
You
She
do
said
have people that tick all the right boxes. You know, you get there and
Circumstances.
you're like, he's so sweet, or you know, he does everything right
Yeah.
on the first day. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like you know, this guy's so sweet, and you just get to know him, and the more you know him, you like him,
The more.
and you know, it happens. But have
The
you,
way they should all be happening, if
you
I'm
know,
being honest.
but there's right time, wrong person.
Nah, got
You
you
know,
on that one.
or
Okay.
right person, wrong,
Wrong
time.
time.
You know.
Happens.
All those things, they happen. So
Yeah.
you do have these, you know, it
I
doesn't
understand.
mean that because you're perfect, you tick everything, we're now in love in a relationship. It doesn't come automatically. It must be a mutual understanding between us, you know?
Yeah, fair
Life,
enough.
life is
So-
not easy, eh?
Exactly. And you'd be willing to sacrifice if you were really in love with someone.
Yeah, been there.
You know?
Yeah.
You'd definitely be willing to sacrifice if you love someone, especially if it's like you said, being understanding, you know, if it's small things like that that contribute to the longer picture.
No, of course. Character.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Do you want to go for the advices before we call it quits?
Advice.
Does she want to give
She
advice?
wanted to.
I want
She
to
had a
ask.
question that
Okay.
she wanted to
So-
pose.
You guys would.
He's, by the way, is Dr.
You're Dr. Phil.
Dr. Rigorous.
Dr. Rigorous. He answers
my
all
Instagram.
love-related queries.
Really? I can be your
my
Mrs. Answer your questions, guys. Like a ask Alex session.
Really?
We're sure to have you again, so don't worry.
So look,
go for it.
if you're dating someone, right, and everything's going so well, but then you just always feel like you're I just feel like I bother the person. Like, I don't know why. Is that normal?
Do you feel like you bother them in what way? Like you clingy? Or
No, like
you want
I
too
won't
much?
text first because I feel like I just bother someone. Like, you know, I feel like if you like me, you'd invite me over. You know, I mustn't ask you, can I come over? Because to me, that's like unheard of. You don't ask someone, can I come over? You ask someone, can we hang out? You know?
Okay.
So it's just like those things. I always feel like I bother people, or I'm, you know, I think it's just too scared to get attached because I feel like I'm just going to start irritating
Yeah.
them. Let me keep my distance. Is that a normal thing for like girls? Does it happen often? Or are you guys so used to girls that are like overbearing, you know, I'm coming over, babe, or I'm seeing you today, or we have to see each other twice a week, or
I mean, once you're in a relationship, that's fine.
well,
Like that
Okay.
that happens. Once you're in a relationship, that happens.
Okay.
Before, like females, before being in a relationship, they always have this thing of like, I don't want to text first. I want him to want me. Let me not show him that I'm too into him. This. But so it's a different context. If you're talking about you being out of relationship, or if you're talking about being in a relationship. Because if you're being in a relationship, I don't think you will bother them. I don't think I'll consider it as a, unless I'm working and you're like, bro, leave work, I want to come over. That's like, okay.
yeah,
you
but that's
bother
I
me.
understand.
Yeah, but if you're in a relationship with someone, I don't think you would bother me. I mean, I would want my girl to text me and tell me, yo, how you doing? Can we hang out after?
So back to the
You know what I mean?
keeping.
So if you're in a relationship, I don't think it will come across as you bothering them. But if you guys not in a relationship, then maybe it could be.
See, now I'll have a different view on that
That's my
aspect,
view.
right? So what you were busy talking about, that sounds like consideration, right? Not being
Okay.
inconsiderate,
Yeah.
right? So because you're putting the other person, you're thinking of the other person by saying, maybe I'm bothering them. That's
Yes.
called consideration, of course, right? Now, you could always play this, like what he also made some very good points. You can always play this in two ways, right?
Okay.
Let's take C.U.T, for example.
Oh, our relationship
Again.
is so strong.
Of course.
Our
It has grown.
relationship is so strong.
It has grown during the show, right?
It gets stronger.
So, so now you say you now don't want to text him because you feel like, you know, you'll be overbearing or something, right? On his end, he's thinking to himself, this girl doesn't want to text me because she doesn't like me or something. Now, this is before now you're in the relationship. You see how those two things can play? Because there'll always be two sides to the coin.
There's always two sides to the
Exactly.
coin. That's why you have to flip
this
it.
is where now we talk about the beautiful thing that everyone likes mentioning, but it's very hard to implement: communication.
Communication, guys.
Communication.
Because that would then avoid what you just mentioned. Both of you mentioned communication will solve that.
And, you know, communication is a very good idea of wrapping your head around red flag. If you don't like the way they're communicating, or if you're a bit bothered by the way they're communicating, it falls under red flag.
Yeah, no, of
Definitely.
course. No, of course. You
Or
know?
a green flag, depending on the way you flag.
Yeah, of course. So that's what I'm saying. So if you take that into consideration and you communicate it, think how much time that will save you. Like, once again, I'll use 2 as an example. You then, listen to this. You then say, listen here, boy rigorous. I don't want to text you all the time because, I feel that I'm overbearing, or I don't want to say this and this because I think this and this. And it'd be like either 2 ways. One is like being the supportive person or supportive boyfriend, or being an asshole, right? That's what I'm saying. It can either go, or someone that doesn't care what you say, right?
Yeah.
And be like, it's my way. Like, I want you to do this, or I don't want you to do this, without taking your perspective and be like, oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah,
and
communication.
So that's what I'm saying. You're sitting down, and what I believe lacks is adult conversations, right? Everything is,
Yeah. It's so hard to sit around as a table and be like, babe, we want this, let's chit chat,
Yeah.
It's not something that's common for people our age to do.
Yes.
No one does it. We're all like, oh, we're so
Don't say
in
no
love.
one.
Okay, no one. Most people
Yeah.
our age don't do it.
It takes a sense.
I feel like the only time when that happens when you have a table is actually when you're going through like problems in a
No,
relationship.
that's
Which it shouldn't
yes,
take.
exactly. Now that's the one thing I've always say. Why must something get to a fight? Then only it's like, oh, I feel this way, or someone else,
Exactly.
I feel this way, and then we make up, right? There's some circumstances you can't avoid. Fights are inevitable, if we're being honest, right? It's what makes any relationship a relationship. It's 2 people, first of all, who's grown apart most of their lives with different backgrounds,
especially
and stuff like that going on. So there'll always be conflicts. But with certain situations, you can avoid these conflicts by having a simple conversation. All right, and that's what I'm getting back to. You can avoid these type of things by just being like that, and make a very good point, which is it's always during a problem that we're now willing to sit down. First, it can go haywire, where it's like we get into a fight that now goes where a place is not supposed to go. All right, you can hurt someone. Words are dangerous.
Words words don't leave your mind.
No.
Words don't leave your mind.
Yes. All right. You can say we're making up. Oh, no, it's personal. All right. Right, because you can say certain things, right? Now, once again, it goes back to personalities, right? Certain people have strong personalities, all right? Some people don't have strong personalities. Some people like to speak their emotions. Some people don't speak their emotions, right? And these are all factors that when you're in a relationship, you need to take into consideration, right? 100%. And these are conversations you need to have, right? Because, like, for example, take someone with a strong personality, all right? Says something extremely hurtful, like you mentioned now. Words are not easy to forget.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You can be happy and be like, oh, fine, we've solved this. But this was during a fight to begin with, right? Now the fight is over. You fought about that thing.
Now it's just starting a new part.
You fought about that thing. It's done.
It's
but
a size
during
3.2A.
Exactly. But during that, you spoke about something else.
Stuff.
And you always slip up during arguments.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a person who's not controlled or whatever, then that's most of the time where now you've spoken about something else, and now that sits.
Now here you admitted to Lala. We need to go and talk to her.
Right? So now there's that now hangs, and all of this, right, is because when this problem occurred, it was not communicated. Like I said, some cases you're bound to be in fights. Also, how you fight is very important. But that's a whole other topic on calling times out. People should know, like, I'm getting riled up, especially if you're a person who loses yourself during a fight. You need to chill time out.
Not everyone understands the timeout concept.
No, I find that a lot of things, this is something you have to have emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. Those are 2 big things when it comes to a relationship.
And I have to be honest. So for me, if it's a medium fight and you ask for timeout, we'll be fine. But if it's like a fight that we're both very hurt by, and you call it timeout, listen, please, let's talk. We're not timeouting.
Yeah, no, of course. It depends. Let's just say let's get to another thing clear, right? The difference between having a relationship fight, like I would say, and not having a relationship fight while you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a clear difference if
There's a big
we fighting about the relationship. Because sometimes it's out of passion that you both care and you're just trying to get your point across, but it's a misunderstanding. But the end goal is we know that, you know,
Yeah.
I'm doing this for this person, you know, in a way. Right? And the other one is just like, I don't know if you watch Malcolm and Marie.
Malcolm and Marie.
It's from Zendaya and
I haven't watched
that. Watch that movie. Now if you wanna call toxic, watch that.
Okay.
Alright. But anyway, nowadays like, oh, you be whatever, start swearing and stuff like that during that. Come on, there has to be a timer before this gets out of hand.
Yeah.
you have to stop that.
Well,
that
that's
has to be
what it's
stopped. At that time, we talk about something else.
You should have triggers. Like if you see your partner is doing certain things, because let's be honest, in the heat of the moment, you aren't very aware of your actions, but you are highly aware of someone else's actions.
Yes.
And let's say Mr. Babe here is starting and he's shouting, he swears, and I don't know, like, I just know that when he, like, starts raising his voice and bringing out a few, like, swear words, you know he's angry.
Yes.
Then I could easily call a timeout and be like, babe, calm down, and we'll continue about it.
Calm down, not maybe the one, because I know people during the...
Don't you tell me calm down.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. You know, they certain
Don't tell me.
when someone is like on a high,
relax.
the worst thing
Relax.
But
No, I'm
there's
just saying
also
as
a
an
difference
example.
between being like, babe, calm down, let's
relax.
go watch a movie 5 minutes and continue.
Yeah.
Or the basic, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. You know, when someone starts calm down, you're like,
No, because it's during those periods
You wanna
that
fight.
no, yeah, you see, it's during those periods where someone's defenses will kick in, and that's other thing, right? Which is knowing when you're just defending yourself for the sake of defending yourself, and knowing when you're actually defending yourself because
of trying to resolve the problem.
you know. Because at some other time, someone will be like, you know, you clearly know you're wrong, but because you're such a heat of the moment, you refuse to admit that fact.
One of my friends told me straight to my
Yeah.
face, there's no way we're entering an argument of you calling me a hoe and we're leaving it with you still having that same mentality.
No, of course, you see like that, you know, that's a dangerous one.
I laugh because you're like, damn, this argument went on for long.
Exactly. No, of course. That person was yourself. I didn't even get to that point where he's saying those words, you know.
I mean, there's a different thing once it's a female's arguments, because there's no timer to that.
Nah.
There's no timer to that, bro.
No, it's how you take
Like
it.
it has to be resolved firsthand.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just depends how you're willing. That's why I say different personalities, different. Like in my case, for example, I'm always, he noticed it today, our boy Fargo, when we were stuck in the elevator. By the way, that's other thing. And Ella came to save us. I think you might want to tell that story after this, right? But for example,
I thought the security don't want to let it in. 'Cause I was thinking,
Hey, that's
we staged the whole thing.
yeah.
But yeah, so going back to the point I was gonna make, which is, where was I? Jeez, I have so many thoughts always running through my head, to be honest. What were we talking about?
The elevator.
the elevator.
Before the elevator.
Oh, we were speaking about the
Timeouts
timeouts during arguments.
Oh yes. So thank you. So in my case, then I know you guys know me. I'm pretty calm. Doesn't matter what type of situation. I don't stress easy, and that's just because I'm an analytical and logical thinking situations, not emotion based, right? So in those type, if I'm now like with the example you're saying now the woman is, you know, riled up, whatever, then I'm one who's still been calm and trying to understand and analyze where she's coming from. Like, is this, I see, okay, yeah, be in your shoes, I'll see it, you know, and stuff like that, right? However, it goes now back to these two personalities complement each other, right? Because sometimes you just want to take out, some people just want to, you know, just let it out. And then after they'll be like, okay, you know, maybe I understand this, or maybe this is where I went wrong. Another hand, you can be,
Yo, guys, I dated a dramatic man once.
I'm gonna keep that one. Say remember that one. Right? Or on the other hand, you can also then be the person who's like, okay, no, man, I've spotted it. I did something wrong. Or no, I actually didn't do anything wrong, and you over here. You know,
Exactly.
you can always see that, but that's the different personalities. On the other hand, you can get two people with strong personalities, you know, and they can resolve it quicker. You know, but just because everyone, you know, is like, no, you did, and I was like, no, and then like, okay, I did that, but you also admit that you did this. And then that's also resolved quick, you know, like, okay, we both messed up, let's move on, you know. But always one person has to, There always has to be a compromise. What I'm getting
There
to.
always has to be a compromise.
Someone has to compromise, and if both people are stubborn, even I could say I could be the stubborn one.
I'm stubborn. I'm so stubborn.
Can tell me stuff.
All my bays tell me I'm stubborn, but they
You-
also
you
say
said
I'm
you can tell you're
understanding.
stubborn.
But they also said I'm understanding,
When
so
were you
we're
born?
fine. I'm a Taurus.
Isn't
May.
the Taurus? I'm not sure about the Taurus signs.
They're the most amazing females you'll ever
Wow,
meet.
wow, that
Wait,
just like
what's your
unicorns,
sign?
just like unicorns.
Exactly, that's
They're
why
not
we
real.
have horns. We're cow with horns.
They're not real.
Yeah. Where are you? What are you?
I'm the crab, the famous water
Cancer.
creature. Yeah,
Your birthday's coming up now.
yeah, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
And you?
Having a birthday party.
And you?
Pisces.
Oh, okay.
Look at that, like all the water creatures, like nah, nah,
And you?
nah. Boy Fargo.
Guys, I throw so much shade at Geminis. I'm
How
like,
come?
Yo, my dad and my sister are Geminis.
That's why I wanted you on the podcast.
I can't handle Geminis, guys. You'll be so stressed after that. The guy that was dramatic, the one I just
Was
wanted
a
to
Gemini.
complain about, he was a Gemini, bro.
I'm a special one.
Drama queen, for real.
what was the problem?
So what was the situation?
Yo, let me be honest, guys. I've seen this guy once, and we saw each other for a month. Like the dating period, we saw each other physically once, and we just fought on the phone. Fought.
So you fought with someone on the phone?
Yeah, we'd call to like make plans, and then we just get into an argument, and then we'd leave it. Then 2 weeks later, we tried to make plans again, leave it. Then it happened the last time, we just blocked. You know what?
Really?
Get out.
So but how would
makes
this
him
exactly?
He was just dramatic. Like he even told me the first day we met, I love drama.
Now that's a red
Someone
flag.
tells me this
That's a
ever
red
again, I'm running the opposite way.
Because that is clearly a red flag.
Make sure that's on my Gumtree note. Please don't make.
I'll do some type of special effect and maybe list all your
And like
Yo,
Drake
thingy.
said in Seeing Green,
another rapper quote.
You like seeing green, eh?
it's a song that's realistic, right? And he said, you must have money to be dramatic.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are real drama queens. Like, please. Drake said it. There are standards to your
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
Let's work for them.
But you gotta give us an example though of the drama you're referring to.
It's just dramatic, bro. Like an argument about anything.
Okay.
Like imagine calling and it just turned into an argument because I was silent when you asked me a question.
We get heated drama type.
Like it wouldn't be like fighting. It's like, oh no. Then he pulls my leg, I pull his leg, and it just went rock bottom.
Don't you find that fascinating how there could be that type of conflict between two people that haven't even met?
Yeah. We did meet once.
No, I mean like met as in like just frequently. Like,
Yeah.
Had a fling
Like
of 2 years.
no, this was on my bed.
No, that was a joke thrown at you. So when you then find that quite interesting, like I could even go to another thing where it's like if you meet someone and you just don't click, feels like that type
Yeah,
of thing.
Geminis.
Oh, so it's like all Geminis, you don't
It's
click.
just in their blood. It's in their
I mean, does this then go back to your father and sister then?
no, this isn't from childhood trauma.
Your sister's a Gemini.
Yes.
Okay.
I see you caught me there where I was headed.
Alright.
Yeah, and well, I think this conversation is gonna probably make this 2 different segments.
Yeah.
Included part of the after show.
Then it's episode
Episode 9.
9 and 10.
Is it 8? Or
It's
episode 8?
9. He said
9.
Is it 9?
It's gonna
Then
be
episode
2
9.
is 9 and 10.
they got stuck in an elevator right before
Before the podcast.
right before the podcast, and they literally had to like push the door open. It was like yeah. Yeah,
You
Macho
guys not
made.
together though. In the elevator.
No. It was.
I
me.
was
You
literally
guys got
waiting
Yeah, so
for
it was
them.
me and Boy Fargo
Yeah.
that was stuck in the elevator.
I thought all 3 of you guys were stuck together.
No, I was sitting on the bench waiting on my phone.
I wish it was all of us.
There's cameras there.
So,
POV.
And with that being said, I'd just like to thank you,
Thank you guys for having me.
Ale, for joining today's podcast. It was very interesting. A lot was said. I'm not sure how long it is, but probably very long. But yeah, so with that being said, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and be sure to comment down below on all the things that was
Mentioned.
stated and mentioned today, because I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on that. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Cut Podcast.
Bye, guys.
Yes.